Oof! I fell over my shop jack. Hi everybody, it's Tim from Auto Van Can, and as you can see, all my stuff is in my garage. What's going on? Well, I'm on vacation and the service truck's in for some body work, so I took everything out of my service truck and it's now in the garage in case I needed it, which is a good job I did because I do need it. So what's going on today? We have got to change the rear struts on the Caravan. That's right, it's another episode of the Dad Van project, and we are changing the rear struts today because they're bouncing around too much. They're oscillating more times than the safety limit, so they're worn out. We had a heavy road trip last week, and we got another road trip this coming week coming up, so it's a crazy weekend where we're home for just 2 days, so lots to do. So I got to change the rear struts on the Caravan. So follow along, check it out, see how it goes. Alright, as you saw, we got the vehicle up on ramps. We removed the wheels and we started having a quick look. We checked the brakes whilst we were in here. And these are the struts we are replacing today. See, they've seen better days anyways. And it's a good thing I had pre-purchased some because I knew it was going to happen. They were already starting to go, so we'll get them replaced. Because it is the weekend, so I can't get parts from my own supplier anyways. If I need anything additional, I think I'll order some wiper blades for Monday morning before we set off. This wheel arch is starting to bubble. That's next year's problem. I'm already getting... So when we get back from the road trip, I pick up my service truck. And I swap my service truck for the van. And the van's getting the other quarter panel replaced, as well as this rocker, because it's about to form a hole, so... Got to look after your investment. Now the biggest challenge today, that's the most time consuming part. It's going to take me longer to find the tools than it is to do the job, because I took everything out of my truck, so everything's all kind of disorganized. So let's pitter patter. Right, so we can break 3 years of rust. Look at that. This little atomic DCF 923B. It's a little monster. Still some tension on there. Let's go to the lower bolt and then we'll start playing with the jack. Let's tackle this one. Let's see if this lower bolt. I might have the jack in the sweet spot. Look at that. There's one strut. Bingo, bango, bongo. Rubbing a little bit on parking brake cable here. all the mounts for the parking brake are broken off. Right, I'll have to fix that at another stage, I think. Or I'll end up putting... Don't think I've got anything with me. A small band clamp will work. Hold it out of place. I'll put it up here or something. Can this move? Nope. So I can put band clamp around over here through a hole. All my band clamps I think are super large. We'll figure that out in a minute. Let's get this rear strut replaced. Right, I'm putting in some OES Spectrum struts. These are truck shocks. They're the heavy duty shock absorbers. Because why not, hey? Why not? Okay, the jack's got to go up just a little bit. That. So there we go, we lifted the jack just a little bit to get this lower bolt in. Now, because these are bushed, really it's a good idea, lost my wrench, to tighten these bolts when there's when the wheels are on the ground. But as I already got weight on the axle in the back of the vehicle, it will affect the ride height. So I think best bet today is tighten them up where they are. What a mighty little gun. There we go. That's one shock absorber done. Alright, whilst we're down there, let's see if we can do something with this parking brake cable. If I can hold it here, that'd be grand. There's a hole in the axle. I can get this band clamp through. And see that? Sticking a band clamp around here. See if I can hold it up to the axle where it's supposed to be. That's pretty tight. Because it's really supposed to be mounted here with a little bracket that bolts to it, but we replaced it last time The bolt must have snapped when they replaced the cable, because this cable doesn't look that old. So a little bit of chafing, but all in all, still good. Alright, we're on to the second shock absorber. As you can see, it's not the hardest job to do for this vehicle. See, this side here has got brake lines that run in. Alright, now we're on to the lower bolt for the second shock absorber. If you hadn't noticed today, I'm using Matco wrench, 18mm. They're okay, they've done me for 7 years. But in England I used to have the Flank Drive Plus wrenches, and they were very, very good. I'm also using Matco 18mm impact socket. I've had this now for 7 years, and the new DeWalt DCF 923. I'm using a power stack battery on it, and this thing has balls. I was not expecting this little gun to break free these rusty bolts. There's one. It's the old shock absorber out. And the new heavy duty shock back in. Alright, let's get the upper bolt back in. There we go. We've got two truck shock absorbers installed on the Grand Caravan, ready for our second road trip of our vacation. So I just got to bung the wheel back on, make sure the ride height's good. If it's riding too high, then I'll just drive it up on ramps, loosen those bolts and retighten them. Now I didn't do it already with the vehicle on the ground like the manual says, because I've already got a full load inside the Caravan. So then when I take everything out, the vehicle's going to be riding too low. So I didn't want that to happen, as like I said, we're in between road trips. So we'll get this all buttoned up, put the wheel back on, and away we go. Perfect. Happy days. Right, so as we're changing the struts, we've already got the hood open, you know, we're between the road trips. I might as well check the oil, fill up the washer fluid, all the other fluid levels are okay, and then I'll get it up on ramps and I'll just check the serpentine belt real quick, and the brake fluid level. She's good, it could use a flush. Coolant level, let's have a look. Easy. I'll grab a flashlight. Now I did the oil cooler not so long ago, so it wouldn't surprise me if it's burped. Burp some coolant down. It is, well, you won't be able to see, but I can see. With the light shining down the side of the header tank, or coolant overflow, it is good. So now we just got to check the oil level and top up the washer fluid. Now, I don't have the dipstick yet for the transmission, but that has arrived from the Snap-on guy, so I will be doing a video on changing the transmission oil and filter. It's a shame I didn't get the dipstick before the road trip, otherwise I would have done it before the trip, because you've got to measure the oil level versus the transmission oil temperature. So let's set you down. There we go, I'm going to set you down here. I'm going to check the oil level. Bingo, perfect. Or I'll just grab some washer fluid and we'll fill this up. Okay, so now all the fluid levels are done. The vehicle's ready to go. Again, I'm just going to stick it up on ramps on the front end of the vehicle. I'm going to have a quick look at the serpentine belt, see if there's anything that I need to be worried about, and we'll go from there. I'm going to get a replacement set of wipers for Monday. They should turn up around 8:30, and then we're off on our road trip at around 9:30. So perfect. There we go. I'm under the vehicle. I'm looking at serpentine belt. She has a little wear, but it's a good opportunity to make sure the water pump isn't leaking. As you can see, the tensioner seems to be running alright. It's not bouncing around at the moment. Belt's in good condition. If you like this video of the Dad Van project, where we changed the rear struts, checked the fluid levels, and had a quick look at the serpentine belt, then I'd greatly appreciate if you smash that like button. You comment and subscribe to the channel. All your growth is greatly appreciated. Have a good one, guys.